This film is so amazing. Um, I've seen it twice now, and it's so incredibly moving. And Jacinta is such a sympathetic character. To go on this very difficult journey that I think a lot of people hear about journeys like this in the abstract, and you don't get to live with someone going through this, especially not someone that you feel so much for and you feel like, God, don't do that. But you watch them through this whole journey. I guess my first question is, how did you find her? Did you find her first and that was the idea, or did you search for her? Can you talk about how you found her? Yeah.
Um, can I stand this far away from the mic? And are you guys hearing me? Okay. I was doing a project on a photo essay on aging in prison
Oh.
at the same prison I met Rosemary and Jacinta at. So my aging subject, Norma, is friends with Rosemary, and that's how I got to know Rosemary. It was a lot of that project took a number of weeks, and so I spent a lot of time just hanging out with the women. And just Rosemary told me she had a daughter, and I was interested in doing a photo essay on. There were just so many women my age who had drug addiction, so I was thinking about doing a photo essay. And then when I met them and saw their interaction, it was just really. I just was really interested in their banter and their love and how they recounted stories of crime, and it was just really intriguing to me. And so it started out as a short film where I was just going to follow Jacinta out of the prison. Never thought I was going to go down a feature film route with this, and didn't think I'd be around long enough for her to relapse either.
Right. Ooh. I have questions about the relapse. So you as a filmmaker are filming this. You knew that she was going to go and do that first hit. I guess my question for you is, like, as a filmmaker / human being, what do you do in that moment? When you're like, oh, this is going to make a great movie, or no, don't do that. What did you do in that moment?
I mean, if you could see the raw takes, it was a lot of don't do this.
Yeah.
If someone's decided they're going to use, there's no way to stop them. I constantly, in the scene where she's in the car, she says, thank you for not leaving me.
Yeah.
And that was because I was trying to leave. I was like, I'll meet you later. Like, I don't want you to do this. Like, and she was like, please stay. It won't take long. Don't leave me. And so I stayed, and I didn't shoot that. And then as it went on, it was that same kind of thing, she knew I didn't want her to go down that road.
Sure.
I mean, we'd spent 30 consecutive days, and these are long days, like 6 in the morning till 7 at night, every day shooting for 30 days before she relapsed. So it was absolutely heartbreaking to witness that.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Can you give us an update on where everyone is now? Like, has she stayed clean? Where is she at? Where is Kaylin? Where are Rosemary?
Jacinta's been out of prison now for about 100 days. I think she hit 90 days about a week ago. And she's clean. She's been doing really well. I think it's still a challenge. It's day by day, hour by hour sometimes, but this is the longest she's ever been sober for. Kaylin is now 14. She looks completely different already. That last scene in the film was a year ago. So she's now a little taller and more of a teenager. And Rosemary is out, but she's probably heading back in soon. Yeah.
Now I'm curious. So one theme that I think is really amazing in your film is basically the cycles of generational psychological baggage that's passed down from generation to generation, and that it's able to stop with Kaylin, which is amazing. But I'm curious, did you ever get into Rosemary's mother? Like, what was it going back? I was curious in the other direction. Where did it start? What was given to her?
Yeah, all that stuff I really wanted to get into the film. Yeah. It was just, we had to edit it down and not go that far. But Rosemary's mother, Rosemary used to say to me, I will never hit my kids. like that was something that she didn't want to repeat because she was very badly abused physically by her mother. Her mother also would lock the door when she was a kid, so at 12 years old she couldn't get inside. She's the youngest of 10 siblings. So she was on the street and probably having sex like as a young, like probably 14, 13, like Jacinta. She, her father had been incarcerated at the same prison that they were at. I met them at. And he had been in for about 10 years. So it goes back.
Yeah.
Like, I actually found, I went to the library in Maine and found this news clipping from 1946 of with her dad on the front of it.
Wow.
Rosemary's father, because he had shot a cop, and there was like all this like, all these photos, and he had escaped from the prison with some other boys. Yeah.
Your movie really makes you question, like, why do we lock up people with drug addiction? Like, how that doesn't make sense, Like, she has this addiction, so that's why she steals this, and then she goes to prison. But then there's this one moment where she is basically like, I'm so glad that I'm locked up because it stopped me from doing the drugs. But I guess in like a just society, we can find some way to get people off drugs where they can stop themselves, where it doesn't have to be through the criminal justice system. I feel like your movie made me feel that really strongly.
Also, too,
Yeah.
I mean, her being incarcerated since she was 14, Jacinta is incredibly institutionalized.
Right.
So it makes it really hard for her when she gets out, when she's got no structure around her, in order to like just get back. And she really needs structure, and that's
right.
She's a product of the system in that way.
Yeah. I thought it was fascinating that almost everyone in the movie takes personal responsibility. Like in our society right now, I feel like we're seeing a lot of like, everything is your fault. I take no responsibility. But I feel like actually all of the people in this movie are very much like, actually, it was not my mom's fault. It's my fault. Everything, even the brother, in prison is taking responsibility when he's crying about what he did to her. The fact that he could admit it, I feel like is really profound in this moment that we're living through where no one takes responsibility for anything. I feel it's so amazing to see people who have done such damage take responsibility. That's not a question. It's just a statement. There's a lot to say about, yeah.
I mean, I think, Jacinta did that a lot too with Rosemary, and what happened with her. She's constantly like, I made those choices, I was trying to protect her. And I think that's, you have a lot of parentified children in this film. Right. Where you have like these kids looking after the generation above them, and I think you see that with Kaylin. I think that's something that's definitely passed along to Kaylin, and you see that with Todd and Jacinta, hugely with their mother. And you see that actually with Rosemary and her mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you feel like Kaylin's gonna be okay? Because part of through the whole movie, you're a little terrified of like, okay, you're young now, but what's going to happen? Is she going to be able to escape this in her future? I mean, you're not a fortune teller, but it's definitely throughout the movie this like panic for her.
She has her grandparents are really solid, and she has like stability that Jacinta never had.
Yeah.
When I was working on this, I was trying to get a sense of timeline on Jacinta's life, like where she was when, at what age. And it was all over the map. Like she had no stability. I mean, she had Rick, but there was a lot of stuff that was happening. For Kaylin, I think it really is a gift what Jacinta did as far as keep putting her somewhere safe, because I think Kaylin definitely, she's incredibly wise and everything else, but she's also like, she didn't have that additional trauma, on top of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that line right at the end where Jacinta says, people don't always say this, but being a good mother is knowing that when you can't be a good mother and letting that go. I thought that's really profound, so important.
Yeah. This knowing when you can't do the right thing.
Yeah, and then you do the right thing by letting go. It's beautiful. So, what is next for this film? What is next for you? What's going on?
I don't know. I mean, we're trying to do this COVID thing. So,
This is your. I mean, it premiered at Tribeca, but this is your New York on a screen premiere, right?
Yeah, this is our New York premiere. I actually
Can we get some honks for that? Yeah.
And I just want to do a little shout out to Matt Borowick. He is part of the team. He did the drone footage. He is here, and I'm just so thankful for everything he did on the film. Also, my family is here, and nobody in my family has seen this film.
Oh,
so this is the first time my brother and sister-in-law have seen it. So that's exciting. But yeah, this is our New York premiere. We were supposed to premiere at Tribeca, and that was not, I mean, it wasn't public facing. And then we did our US premiere in Camden, Maine. So we did that with Jacinta and the family. Jacinta has seen the film already a number of times. She watched it.
what did she think?
She watched it before we finished editing, just to make sure she was fine with it.
Sure, yeah.
And it was very emotional for her to watch. But ultimately, I mean, I was willing to take stuff out or
Sure.
whatever
Mhm.
she was fine with it, and she ultimately has been just getting me to send the link around,
Yeah.
She watched it with her father, Rick, and that was it felt like a really healing experience for
Yeah.
them.
Has Kaylin seen it?
Kaylin has not seen it yet. They want Kaylin to see it with a therapist,
Right,
you know?
yes.
So we're doing a social impact campaign where we're raising money for, and we actually have part of that money already, but to pay for Kaylin to go through therapy,
Wow.
so then Kaylin can watch this with a therapist, and we can navigate that in a safe way for her.
Yeah.
But her grandparents and Jacinta want her to wait for now.
That seems smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. This is such a beautiful film.
Thank you.
Can we get honks? Can we get, yes. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.